is example 3 on multi-step equations. So we'll start with step 1, which is the distributive property. We have an invisible -1 that we're going to distribute through. So that gives us -n plus 8. For -1 times a -8 is a positive 8. So there's step 1, distribute the negative. Then step 2 would be combine like terms on one side. Step 3 would be combine like terms on the other side. There's nothing to combine. Step 4, we want to get the variable on one side. It's already there. We don't have variables on both sides, so we don't need to worry about moving anything variable-wise. So I think we're on step 5, which is just to isolate the variable. So what's in the way of n being by itself? Correct. So what do we want to do with that 8? It's plus 8, so get rid of it by doing what? Subtract 8. Very good. We're going to subtract 8 from each side. A -2 and a -8 added together is -10. And that gives us -n equals -10. Oh. So now we need to get rid of the negative coefficient on n. So to do that, we can just multiply both sides by -1, or divide both sides by -1. It has exactly the same effect either way. So -1 times -10, and -1 times -n. So -1 times -10 turns that into +10, and -1 times -n turns that into +n. And then I just like having it on the left, so I'm rewriting it. N equals 10. That one was just weird because it didn't have all the steps, and it had lots of weird negative stuff to deal with. Distributing a negative, multiplying through by a negative to get rid of the negative in front of the n, all sorts of weird things. Okay, let's try question number 4. I'll send it to your calculators. Try to follow the steps. Notice first off on number 4 that there's no parentheses, so you don't have to do step 1. There's no distributive property. So looking at example 4, we didn't have to do distributive property. So we're just going to go to step 2, which is let's combine our like terms on one side. So on the left side, we have 2p and -5p. We just combine those together. So 2p plus -5p. And we get -3p. We still have a +1. And on the right side, there's nothing to combine together because nothing is like terms on the right side. Okay, next we're going to get the variable all up one side. So which side should we move the variable to, the left or the right? Take care. Your opinion, I'm going to move it to the left. So I'm going to subtract 6p from both sides. So that turns into 0, and we have -3p and -6p gives us -9p. Then I need to isolate the variable, so I'm going to move the 1 to that side. So basically add a -1 or subtract 1. That cancels out my +1. So now I have -9p equals -8. And then our last step to get p by itself is to divide both sides by -9. So -9 divided by -9 goes away. We just have 1p, like we want, but we don't write the 1. And then -8 divided by -9, the negatives cancel out. So we're just left with 8/9 for our answer. All right, example 5 starts with distributive property. We're going to distribute our 6 through. So we got 66m minus 30. And then we still have 12m equals 2m minus 14. So that was step 1, distributive property. Now we're going to combine like terms on the left. So we've got 66 and 12, which add up to 78. There isn't anything for us to combine on the right because those are not like terms. Now we just want to make sure we have the variable on one side. So I'm going to subtract this 2m. So that gives us 76m minus 30 equals negative 14. So then we want to move the negative 30 to the other side to get the m by itself. So we're going to add a positive 30 to the negative 30. So that cancels out. And negative 14 plus 30 is 16. Then we're going to divide both sides by 76. We only have to reduce 16 over 76. So just get that fraction to lowest terms. I'm not even sure exactly what it is in my head. I gotta work on it here for a second. I know that they both divide by 4. Since 16 divided by 4 is 4 and 76 divided by 4 is 19, that gives us a final answer of 4 over 19.